Hi, and welcome to Garden Talk with Jason and Don. Tonight, total chaos. The 80's junior high story.
You were starting with Chris Pelletine or
Chris,
something.
total chaos.
Yeah.
Total chaos.
Okay.
Mrs. Ball was our teacher. Frau Ball.
Now that wasn't the same teacher as Mrs. Fox.
No.
Oh, okay.
I just named her Frau Ball. But
Oh,
we love
okay.
Frau Ball. I made up the name Fox because it's very close, but it's not Fox. Hello. You know who you are.
Mrs. Cox.
No, I didn't say that. No, it couldn't. It's not that. That's close. That's close. Could be stocks. And it doesn't necessarily mean that that's a "ks" at the end. I could have changed the beginning. So it's your imagination. And I'm not going to
Wilcox.
I'm not going to say anything other than Mrs. Fox.
Mrs. Wilcox.
And if I actually think about her as Mrs. Fox, it's actually a nice thought, because then I think of like the video that came out, the song that came out with the book for the video of what does a fox say? You know? I can't do the fox thing. The first time I saw that was so fucking hilarious. But no, if I think of her like a fox like that, then that's not bad. Because otherwise, when she dressed up at Halloween, she did have a pointy nose with a wart on it. She really did in real life, and she wore a witch's hat, and it was like, yeah, it's perfect. she was the witch. She was a witch at Halloween. Anyways, yeah, the 7th graders just got away with all kinds of shit, and we just hated them because when we were 7th graders, we didn't get away with being able to do stuff like that.
We never got with Chris.
We couldn't
never
sell
got with
things.
Chris. You're getting off.
No, student council was the only the student council could sell like chocolate at certain times of year, and we sold the gummy suckers, which are fucking horrible. I don't know how. I tried one once, and I'm like, this tastes like crap. And the kids bought them, and they sucked on them, and it was like, they're like $1 each or something like that, or $1.25, or maybe they were 50 cents. I don't know. Anyways, and for like a couple months out of the year, we just sold the shit out of them, and everybody's walking under the suckers, and they're horrible tasting. I was like, God, can't we give them something better? Like, can't we give them chocolate? I think we would have made more if we sold chocolate, because they'd want more the chocolate, because the sucker's like something you suck on for a while. If you gave them chocolate, they eat it and they need more, make more money. But the 7th graders.
Okay, now we got to get back to Chris.
Chris Delagrange, total chaos. Frau Ball. Let's just call her Frau Ball. That's close to her name. That's close to her.
Forget the woman's name. Chris.
Well, she was German.
Stay with Chris.
She was German, and she was our favorite teacher. This is key. In 5th grade, she became a half a day teacher for Mrs. Appleman. Because Mrs. Appleman took the afternoons off. I don't know why. And then she ended up getting married, so Frau Ball took over for her. And you could get away with anything. Absolutely fucking anything in her class. And then Mrs. Fox and I had Mrs. Fox for 5th grade.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't get away with shit. Oh my God, the crayon. So you have to understand, total chaos started in 5th grade, and by the time 6th grade, we had learned how to just. We were in Frau Ball's room. She was our teacher.
Okay. Did she wear a uniform?
No, she was a very lovely, plump German woman.
I figured she had to be German.
Whose family escaped Nazi Germany.
Yeah.
And we could get her to do anything we wanted. It was sad. It was sad for us because there's shit we didn't learn. A lot of us didn't learn stuff because we got away with this. And my dad would say, "No, there's a whole. This is a whole story of total chaos. This is the total chaos story. This is a total chaos." Chris Delagrange. C-H-R-I, Chris Delagrange. It started one day. Well, we would go over to Frau Ball's room for like we would have English with Mrs. Appleman or Ms. Appleman, Miss Appleman, and then Frau Ball would teach in the afternoon like history or I don't know whatever. Anyways, we had her for like one class, and then when Mrs. Appleman left, we had her the whole time. Now, yeah, there was some shit that went on in her class that we didn't get away with in Mrs. Cox's class when Mrs. Appleman was still there. But nothing compared to what happened when Mrs. Appleman left. Oh my God! Oh my God! Wait, this is 5th grade. And this is the kind of shit you see in the 80's movies that my generation got away with. And they always paint my generation as being a nasty little bastard generation. We were! Yeah, we were! Because you painted us that way. We had to act like the movies. Anyway. Oh, we went over to Miss Ball's room for art. We were doing art class over there in the afternoon. And David Schumann, who plays so many roles and so many stories that disappear in National Geographic. It's the black hole. Oh, there was the black hole. The blue light special. These are all things that need to be talked about. This is comedy that I have waited to tell. I used to tell these stories to this guy. His name was Billy Baldwin. No relation, but his name really was Billy Baldwin. He was a teacher. And anytime since I moved to LA and I met somebody who was a teacher, I said, "What grade do you teach?" Like, "Oh, 5th or 6th." Like, "Oh, I have some stories for you." and trust me, we haven't gotten into the stories. This is just the setup for the fucking stories. And I would tell him these stories, and he would just sit there and horror. He'd say, "Oh, you gotta write these down, you gotta write these down, you gotta write these down, you gotta record it." But back then we didn't have this kind of technology to record and to write it down. This is like, anyway. Yeah. So I'm glad we're finally, the Total Chaos is a whole series. This is gonna be the Total Chaos series
At least I believed in recording machines when I was younger.
Yeah, well,
I didn't want to write things down.
Well, we were in 5th grade. Nobody had a recorder. But anyway, we couldn't have taken it to school. Oh no! In '95, I don't know. The digital technology wasn't quite there. It was expensive, and it was tape and blah blah. Anyway, Total Chaos. So we're in art class, and all of a sudden, there's this noise coming from the heater, and these heaters, it's an old Catholic grade school built in like 1910 or some shit like that, 1890 or 1910. It's one of those two now. Anyways, and these big, huge metal heaters that they're like from one end of the class, huge classrooms from one end of the classroom to the other, and the drapes play such an important story. When David in 8th grade decided to play Tarzan. Oh! And the boiler room. These are all things that we have to talk about. And Babbo. Babbo is an important thing. And just Chris. Okay. I could never do it. Oh, in 8th grade we had this. We became like the goofballs in the corner, yeah. and we would laugh at our little sayings and shit. Like Chris would do this. Oh, Total Chaos! And when shit was going on with Mrs. Ball, and we would always remember. Oh, I remember back in 5th grade when that noise came from the heater, and we would tell the story, and Miss Ball, shut up about the noise from the heater, because you have to realize what the noise from the heater was. All of a sudden, there's this noise. It was like, and the heater was just this wheel that blew around, and it blew heat out in the grate. Well, I know that I had seen David Schumann with and a couple other people, but David was always one of them. Was prying the little bars back and forth with scissors, and Mrs. Ball wasn't paying attention. I saw him do this in English class over there when we came over with their group for English. And when they would drop down, they would drop down in there, and it was this Frau Ball. We need to have like everything like with Frau Ball. We need to have like in Young Frankenstein or whatever with Gene Wilder when they did it was Frau Ball or whatever. They said there was this whipping chain in the background or lightning. Frau Ball. And that's not what she was like, but Frau Ball. Whenever I say her name, that's gonna be the tag. Because and Scrain. We have to talk about Scrain. That was our principal. And the bulletin board that we drew in 8th grade, Mrs. Ball, Frau Ball, just left up and evolved into this insane world of nuns killing themselves and Scrain on the top of the... I drew Scrain. I was like, what does a sad nun look like? And I gotta draw Scrain sometime, but not right now. and I know she came up and saw it, and but all we had coming out of her mouth was Scrain. She was the principal. But anyways, so this in 8th grade, this or 5th grade, this. And Mrs. Ball says, "Where are the crayons?" All the crayons are gone. We had just started art class. And I looked around going, oh my God. Because there'd been little shit leading up to this.
Yeah.
But and then there was this smell from the heater. And this was winter, so the heater was heating up. And this... It's like to watch her go over. You see, to watch her go over to the heater. She's this heavy set woman, German lady. She walks over and she's looking. And one of the other guys, I think like Jerry Henry said, no, never turn it. Oh, there's a problem. Do it one way or the other.
Oh.
There's a problem with the video. We can either do one or the other. Okay. Well, no, do it anyways. I don't give a shit. We'll fix it later. Just turn it with me. I don't care. They can turn it aside. We can fix it.
Well, you moved fast,
anyway,
I had to go with it.
She was yeah, like that on the heater, which was like clank, 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 clank. And I think Jerry Henry said something like, I think it's an animal. And he's like, no, it's not an animal. What is it? And she kicked it. So she kicked it. And beans. Dried pinto beans come flying up to the grates, right in Frau Ball's face. And she just kind of steps back a little and says, what in the world? She's trying to cover it up. Go get Mr. Keeble. He was the janitor, the custodian of the school. Bud Weeble, as he became known.
Okay.
No, do it one. Well, what happened?
Well, because you're moving so much out of the camera, so I have to go wider.
I don't care. I figured out how to view it. I do it if I view it in locked screen back at my place. Anyway, so go get Bud Keeble. Go get the Weeble. Go get the Weeble. And David says there's David Randang get the Weeble, as we called him in 5th grade. And he come up, and he's just making this noise, and there's this really bad smell coming out of it. and Bud Weeble, as we called him, gets down there and takes the pen, unscrews the panel, and he pulls it, and he says, "What the hell?" This is a credit to grade school. He wasn't a deacon yet, thank God. But he's, what the hell? And he pulls, and there was just this. It was kind of beautiful. And we're like, oh, look at that! That's so pretty. It was this. It looked like a beautiful wax candle. and there were two of them. And he pulls out the screwdriver like, no, it isn't. He said, I don't know. And he's down on the ground. I mean, the heater's like, so he's like, he's got the screwdriver out. And of course, this is like total chaos. When we all start laughing, realizing that we could do shit, and Mrs. Ball just stands there helpless, not knowing what to do. So we knew this from day one when she took over full time. What we could get away with. But anyways, he's chipping through this, and all of a sudden crayons fall out and wax falls out. It was the missing crayons. But then the beans, and there was food. It was like marbles. It was like this non-stop treasure. Like, you open up a treasure chest, it just keeps falling out. And our whole class was just rolling laughing. This was the funniest thing that we'd ever seen in our lives going on in school. I mean, this was something you'd see on TV. And there was no getting us back to class and everything be normal after this. And that's when total chaos actually started. Was that, and Chris would call it chaos because Frau Ball would say she's the one. It actually came from her, if I remember right. That's where it came from. She would say, "Stop all the chaos! Stop all the chaos!" Right. And it was what she was the one that came up with the chaos, and that's when Chris would say chaos, and then in 8th grade it became total chaos, with the whole class just doing shit. But anyways, that's a story about the, that's a long story about a lot of shit. But that's a story about the crayons and some highlights of other things to come in the future.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel.